with you a Halloween look. As you can tell, it's a pin-up look. I was really excited to film this video. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to basically walk through the makeup as well as the outfit that I'm wearing. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. So I've already primed my face with this primer, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to my eyebrows. I wanted to make them more defined and kind of thin and more arched, since based on the pictures that I've researched, this pin-up look, or pin-up girls back then, had thinner brows and more arched brows, and they were also very defined. Next, I'm going to move on to concealer, and I'm going to go ahead and conceal my dark circles or any blemishes that I have in order to create a blank canvas for me to apply foundation later on. Pin-up girls back then had flawless complexion, and applying concealer will help me achieve that. Moving on to foundation, you're going to want a foundation that's very matte and also full coverage. Here I'm applying it onto my face as well as on my neck, in order for the skin color to match. Then I'm taking my brush and stapling the foundation into my skin, and this technique will help me achieve a more full coverage look. Next, I'm going to use the Hourglass Dim Light Powder, and I'm going to set my under eyes since we don't want any creasing under our eyes. Now moving on to contouring, you're going to want a powder that's about a couple shades darker than your skin tone, and then I'm going to apply that under my cheekbones, my jawline, as well as my forehead. You don't have to if you don't need to do that. And I'm also going to go ahead and contour my nose as well. I also went ahead and contoured under my lip in order to create a more fuller lip. Now moving on to blush, I picked a bright pink blush in order to create this natural blush finish, if that makes any sense. And I'm also applying that in a stippling motion and blending it at the same time. Moving on to highlighter, this step is completely optional. I know this is a matte look, but I couldn't help myself, so I applied it in places that you would normally apply highlighter. And finally, to make everything more matte and full coverage, I apply this powder all over my face as well as on my neck. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to apply this white eyeshadow on my brow bone as a highlight. Next, I'm going to go in with this warm brown shade and apply it as a transition shade in order to warm up the eye look. I'm going to take my blending brush and dip it into the brown shadow, and I'm going to apply that right on my crease and form this line to create this cut crease. I'm going to keep blending back and forth so that the line isn't as harsh. Since we did lose some pigmentation through our blending, I did redip the same brush onto the same shadow, and I'm recreating that line and also blending it away so it's not as harsh. Taking the same brush, I'm dipping it onto the black shadow, and I'm applying that right on top of the dark brown just to emphasize the cut crease some more. And then you just gotta keep blending. Then I'm going back to the dark brown shadow, and I'm concentrating that more onto the very outer corners and making that V shape. Moving on to the shaded brush, I'm going to dip down to the cream shadow, and I'm going to apply that all over the inner 2/3 of my lid, making sure that I don't blend it up too far onto the crease that I just created. Then I went back in with my blending brush with no additional product in order to blend the cream shade and the brown shade together. Taking my pencil brush, I'm going to dip that onto the warm brown shade and diffuse that through my bottom lash line. Then I'm going back in with my blending brush and the same dark brown shade. I'm going to diffuse that through the bottom lash line as well in order to create more of a blended look. Then taking this brush, I'm going to dip only through the bottom part. I'm going to apply that also on the bottom lash line just to make the color more opaque. Taking the same pencil brush onto the warm brown shades, I'm going to blend everything together. Now grab my nude liner and apply this to my waterline. And now here comes the front part, the black eyeliner. I'm going to carefully place the black liner very close to my lashes and make this thin line, and then I'm going to create this very long wing at the end. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to apply that on my top and bottom lashes, mainly concentrating on my bottom lashes since we're going to apply falsies later. Take this little flat brush and dip it onto the white shadow and apply it onto the very inner corner of the eyes. Now it's time for some falsies. Once the glue is tacky, I applied them right at the center of the eye, and then I went in with the tweezers and connected them from the outer corner onto the very inner corner of the eye. Then I'm making sure that the falsies and my natural lashes are very close together in order for it to look natural. Now moving on to the final and my favorite part, the red lips. Here I'm applying the lipstick as I normally would. There's nothing innovative about this. And here it is, the final makeup look. Now moving on to the outfit. And here's the dress that I chose. I love the cherries and the blue background. I think this is very pin-uppy for this look. And to tie it together, I went in with this television handbag. I think it's very cute and very pin-up appropriate as well. And to tie everything together, I went in with this red rounded pumps. And I didn't include a hair tutorial for this look only because the way that I did my hair, I followed a tutorial on YouTube, and I will link it down below in the description box if you're interested. And that's it for this pin-up Halloween look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!